Okay, so first thing I want to talk about is the pay plan that we talked about before, and I want to just kind of clarify that. So we're not going to make any changes to the way you guys are getting paid your commission currently. Okay, so for HVAC guys, the only thing that's changed, that it has changed, is for installers. So the way that an installer is going to be paid, an install crew, is, and he already knows about it because I told him about it. So it's going to be a kind of a flat rate type of thing. So if it's a 4-hour deal and it's determined it's a 4-hour install, let's say it's a furnace, then they get paid $40 an hour times their 4 hours, okay? For the lead guy. And then whoever if you have the helper is obviously going to get paid whatever the helper gets paid. So, you know, that's still the same as what they're getting paid. If let's say Ryan sells the job, it's Ryan's job, and Ryan's getting the service volume on it. So that's the only thing that's going to affect Ryan is now he knows what he's got to pay an install crew. I mean, that's the only thing that's going to affect you. So we're not going to keep doing this up and down, or I'm going to pay him 25, I'm going to pay him 35, I'm going to pay him whatever, you know. So we're going to just kind of keep that the same for install crews. So the install crews will know what they're going to get paid, and that'll be that. So nothing else is going to change at this point. Kevin and I have talked about it a little bit. We're going to talk to the guy Alex. If we decide later on down the road, we'll let you guys know, and we'll have plenty of time, and we'll show you all the numbers and make sure it's fair for everybody if we do make a change. But right now, we just decided we're not going to change it. Okay?
So sales volume goes to the selling tech?
Okay, so basically the service volume. So the service volume, there's two things that can happen, and this depends on how you guys do it. The goal of having the install crew is going to be that you guys are flipping as many things, obviously, to the channel leader, right? Mm-hmm. With the new system, I have a leak or whatever the deal is, right? And then, so that service volume still that person's gonna sell, so that's still gonna come off the top, that 10%, right? If you're flipping something to plumbing, you get your 2.5%, walk away. But if it's your job and you sell it, you still get your service volume minus your installation fees for your install crew and your cost, just like normal. Everything else is the same. Okay?
Okay.
So basically, I mean, if you guys, the more stuff you guys are flipping like that, obviously these larger jobs, there's potential to make a lot of money. Well, I mean, a lot of money. And an example is I wanted to just, and William's not here right now, but I wanted to just throw William and give him props. He's done the most of that process in the last week and a half, 2 weeks.
Sure.
Which just he's happened to be the first one. You know, he got the things out there and found leaks and got us out there and,
right.
And it sold. And in doing that, the way he's doing it, getting the service volume, I mean, he's making the most money he's made since he's been here by far. Before he was kind of.
Well, service volume pays pretty well. So.
Yeah. So that's the plan for. And Kevin's texting me something here, so I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, okay. So yeah, so at this point, we're not gonna make a change with it. I don't want anybody, you know, freaking out about the pay for that. We're still gonna continue the same on the HVAC side. Plumbing hadn't changed anyway. But everything else is we're just gonna roll with that until, if we can figure something else out that's still beneficial for both of us, we'll do that. But at this point, and the other thing that we wanna try to do, regarding the way the HVAC side works, is we wanna make sure that we're ordering everything ahead of time. So
the salesman needs to talk to the lead technician,
right.
Take as many pictures as he can, and basically the lead technician is doing the install.
Well, okay, so the person who Kevin should order everything, right? Is how it should be. But let's say that you go out to the job. This is how we do
well,
it.
I'm trying to think if the supervisor's you, for instance,
right.
You're not as familiar with all the things that might be needed.
True. So let me go back. Okay, so here's how I had William do it. So I found out through Geary what systems I needed, the actual systems. That was it. Then I told William, now it's up to you, because William sold the job basically. It was William set it up, right? I told William, okay, order everything else, put it on this purchase order, because they basically gave me a proposal, and it had those items on it, and this is what the cost was. And then I said, okay, so here's your furnace, here's your everything, right? And then I told William, now order everything else that you need, have it on in will call. And then I had Nick go pick it up the day before the job. So,
Right,
and then Nick just goes and picks everything up and delivers it here.
Right.
And then the next, when it's the job's day, you guys just pick everything up, load it up and go. That's how it was supposed to work. That's how I wanted it to work. Yeah, and I
Go
understand.
over it another time.
And
We'll go over it later.
William's gonna have to obviously know exactly what he needs to. That's gonna have to come with a little bit of time, but if you guys are, if you're the one that sells the job, or you're the one that sells the job, Renars, so to speak, I mean, Kevin probably sells it, but you know what I'm saying? It was your job, you set it up, you did all that, you're gonna get the service volume on it, make sure everything's ordered and everything else, and then we'll make sure that Nick picks it up and has it here, ready to go.
Right.
That's the plan. Is it gonna be perfect every time? Probably not, but hopefully it'll get better with time. I just don't want, what I don't wanna do is, we get everything here and I spend money and everything on him picking it up, and then you guys have to go back into a parts store 2 or 3 times to pick other crap up.
Right.
Which doesn't make any sense, but then why even have him go? You know, it's just a waste. So that's kind of the goal
When,
on that.
when you pick it up, for instance, can you just leave it in the truck?
Well, he had to go pick something else up, we didn't know what it was,
Fair
because
enough.
Kevin had some pump or something he wanted to pick up. And I said, is it big or is it small? And
He
Kevin
said
said
it
it's
was
big,
big,
and
and
it
it
was tiny.
He said it was the size of a football, it wasn't even that big.
Yeah, so that's the
So
only
I
reason,
cleaned
the
up
only
the
reason they
whole
got
place.
unloaded in that case was
Well, they
because
should've
Kevin said it
kept.
was big. So like, well, I guess we need to unload the
It
truck.
says the size of a football?
Yeah,
Well, he told us that later, he was like, yeah, it's big.
yeah.
And then once we cleared everything out, we were like, yeah, you said it was big. He was like, yeah, it's like the size of a football. And we were like, okay.
Well, that was the whole
You're thinking
point. We're just like,
big,
what
like,
vehicle
Yeah,
do you
well,
want to
well,
see?
well, that's because I didn't want to come back. I had all this stuff in there, and I was like, well,
Okay.
I'll
Right.
only come back if I have to empty
So
the truck out.
Okay.
the other thing is, and I'm pretty sure that truck 26 now has been fixed. He was working on it yesterday when I left, but the new pump, the water pump that was leaking. So we have the second install truck now going. And then the next one is the one that was the transmission thing. That's hopefully either next week or the week after we'll get that going. It's gonna take a couple weeks to get that fixed, but it's gotta replace the transmission and some other little parts, miscellaneous crap, so. Trying to get all those going. Then we have the two, your truck is, or the little Nissan is over, and hopefully that'll be done next week. And then,
A week for that? I could have done that. You could have just paid me. I could have just banged it out.
yeah, exactly. And then it's costing us $1,000 because they're making it 50-50 like I knew they would.
That's what I would talk to the insurance, and he said the same thing. He was like, "Well, you got to witness. It's what you say is what he says. You guys, it's hard to determine
Right.
from the angle of the hit. It could have been either or, so we have to."
Yeah. And yeah, they're not gonna, unless they actually see a video of it or something, it's pretty much, or unless a cop says, yeah, well, I saw it, and you're pretty much screwed. It's just the same thing with the one that you were in, backing up, that's 50-50, it doesn't matter.
They don't
It's
even have-
50-50?
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to have, I need to go there and be like, yo.
First-
No,
it's
and
got a camera probably.
here's the reason, no, it's, the reason is whenever two people are backing up, it doesn't matter.
I thought it's like a stoplight, right? Whoever backs it up first.
No.
You could say I back the first.
Yeah, right. That's,
It's his word against his word against his word, and they're not gonna admit fault. I mean, they may have admitted it to you, but you don't have anything in writing that they said, hey, it's my fault, sorry, I didn't mean to hit you. So if you don't admit fault and we don't admit fault and we're both backing up, it's 50-50. That's just how they do it.
you scared him, Nick. That's why he was like, "Oh no, that was my fault."
Yeah.
I thought the car all hostile and loud.
That's because he
So,
hit the side of the car.
yeah, anyway, so that's $2,000 just in those two accidents are costing us. So we have to really be watching ourselves, guys. Speaking of that, got another complaint for, I think it was Saturday. Somebody in this room supposedly cut somebody off,
I wasn't working.
and it
wasn't
was in a
working.
blue truck. It says it was truck 6.
Oh, it was me.
Yeah.
I think I, sorry.
You know what it is?
I already know, I have this
You knew you cut them off.
memory
Okay.
here, yeah,
All right.
I'm not gonna lie.
So I got an email, then they called and complained, and I don't know if we're gonna get a bad review. Hopefully not. We just apologized and said, hey,
A
we're
bad
sorry.
review for driving?
We've had
I'm not a
we've had one.
driving company.
I know, we've had one before though, that someone said that they
Yeah.
were driving
I'm
70
not
miles an
Uber
hour.
driver.
You
guys remember that
had their
review?
services, but she doesn't know.
Yeah, yeah.
So no, we got a
I'm not
one-star review
driver.
from somebody driving 70 miles an hour through their neighborhood, remember that?
Never had
Yeah,
their services
that was
before,
me.
but.
And we didn't even have anybody in that
I didn't know it
neighborhood.
wasn't me, yeah.
So we're like, we didn't even have anybody in that neighborhood, but they gave us a one-star review, so that does
How's
happen.
that fair? They,
So.
not even nothing to do
It has nothing to do with us, but our company is still.
Yeah, that's not fair with the reviews.
Yeah.
Not further. We didn't do no service for them.
So anyway, today,
the
this
driver.
morning, the reason I,
Rating
in
and
addition to
driving.
the, talking about the pay plan, I just wanna make sure that everybody, we're going over to the Newport job, Will's job, and I guess there's a 6-foot wall that all the equipment has to be lifted over, so we need all the muscle we can get to get over there. Kevin's gonna meet you guys over there, I guess, is the plan. I talked to him this morning. So before you guys go to your other jobs, if everyone could, kind of car, van pool, whatever you wanna call it, follow each other over to Newport. We can get in there anytime now, they said after 7 o'clock. And we just need to get the equipment lifted over the wall, cause I guess there's a big tree in the way or something too, right? The only way to go is to go over the wall.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just hand these out and that's all I have, guys.